Perfect. Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for joining us on this lovely Wednesday. My name is Hannah. I lead email and community at Growclass. So if you've seen me before, it's probably in your inbox poking around. It's nice to meet you. So if you're not familiar with Growclass, we are a 6-week growth marketing course and community filled with founders, marketers, and freelancers. We teach folks the skills they need to grow their careers and their businesses. But today I'm really excited to learn the organic growth formula and how to grow your business with PR with Lexie Smith. So featured in outlets such as Entrepreneur, NASDAQ, Create and Cultivate, and more, Lexie Smith is a PR and business coach, host of Pitchin and Sippin Podcast, oh, I always love that name, co-founder of Ready Set Coach, and the founder of the THEPRBAR Inc. and the THEPRBAR Agency, an online coaching platform, resource hub, and boutique PR agency. So hella impressive, Lexie, super dope. I'm going to be dropping all of Lexie's links in the chat for you. So if you want to connect with Lexie, you can find her here, her LinkedIn and her website. If you have any questions for Lexie, we do have time for a Q&A at the end of the session. So feel free to unmute yourself, drop your questions in the chat. You can also private message me if you're feeling a little bit shy and I can ask the question on your behalf. Reminder that there's no such thing as a dumb question. We're all here to learn. This is a judgment-free zone. So we just ask that everyone keep it kind and respectful. But with that being said, I'm going to pass the mic over to Lexie so we can learn about the organic growth formula and how to grow our businesses with PR. Over to you, Lexie.
Okay. Thank you for the introduction. Let me screen share and get all my windows in the proper place. I always like to jump around. I'm a 3-monitor person. You're either one of me or you're like, what? Okay, let's see here. My chat is over here. Awesome. Okay, can we all see my screen? Fantastic. Okay, we're going to dive right into the organic growth formula and how to build your business with PR. I'm also super curious if you guys want to drop your different businesses or if you're already started it or if you're going to start it someday, what your business is. I'm super curious as well. So I'll do a quick intro. We won't stay long here. But you heard who I was. Hi, I'm Lexie. I do a few things. Also, I always say my proudest title is mom, but I do have a few businesses, a couple podcasts, and I like to teach people how to do stuff. I do have the THEPRBAR Inc., which is a coaching platform, and the THEPRBAR Agency, which is a boutique done-for-you agency. If you do want to continue your PR learning, as mentioned, I have a podcast. It's a really, really great resource. I interview a lot of members of the media. So if you are looking to pitch, I suggest heading there. Do not worry, I will not read all of this, but I like to include it because I want to instill confidence in each and every one of you that hopefully you know that you're in good hands. And I do know a few things about PR. I've been doing this for quite a long time. I've done it, I teach it, I speak it, I learned it, and I've had a lot of success. So with that said, enough about me. You're about to massively level up today. And while you might think we're going to spend the next however many minutes together diving really deep into the world of press, I'm here to tell you that that is not what we're about to do. And do not get bummed out because I promise you it'll make sense as to why. And we're going to have ample time at the end of today to go into press-specific questions. But what I'm really focused on today is getting you guys to learn how to grow your business with PR. So, okay, let me quickly just see. We have some businesses that were being dropped in the chat. Hospitality travel agency, between gigs, indie author, launch marketing consultant, copywriters, lawyer. We got all types of industries. Okay, great. This should be relevant to every single person in this room. So we're going to start at the end. This is the formula. Great. Goodbye. You've all learned. Bad joke. Okay. So in order for you guys to understand what these letters mean, we do need to back up and do some learning and provide some context. So the first thing I want us to do is for everyone to understand what I mean when I say the word organic. When I say organic growth, I am referring to non-paid avenues. So this is growth that is achieved without ad spend. Okay, so that's what I mean when I say organic growth. Organic growth can be achieved through a very specific form of organic marketing, otherwise called public relations. And that brings us to the next thing we need to have a clear understanding of before we can apply the organic growth formula to your own business. So we need to define what the heck PR means. And anytime I give this presentation, I generally find when I ask the crowd, like, what is PR? I get people saying crisis comms. I get a lot of Olivia Pope references or Sex and the City references, publicist, celebrity, or press. And you're not wrong, but whatever you came in today thinking PR was, I'm going to ask you a favor. I'm also going to ask you a big favor to ignore Google, because that's another thing you can do, right? If you have no idea. I want you to forget all of that today. I want to wipe that clean. And I want to help, like my goal in life is to help entrepreneurs redefine and truly understand what PR is and the power of PR and what it can do for you. So you're about to start by learning my, what I call a leverage 7 PR methodology. Okay. So again, this is context prior to that formula. So understanding this methodology will give us a full picture and definition. We're going to start though with the who and the what. So these are the 7 target audiences or groups that make up the who and what of PR. So what does this mean? When I talk about public, I'm referring to your or your brand's relationship with the public and potential new customers, okay? So people maybe not in your world just yet. We then have media, right? So this is where I'm saying you're not wrong, but it's one of 7 groups, and the media refers to your brand's relationship with the media. And the media can look more traditional, like a journalist at a newspaper. We can also consider a podcaster, a blogger, or an influencer, part of the media these days. Then we have customer or clients. This is your brand's relationship with pre-existing customers or clients. So people already buying or currently in your world. We have industry. This is your brand's relationship with others in your industry or vendors. So I'm in the PR industry. Other publicists are my colleagues. They're in my industry. If you're in, you have a restaurant, right? This could also look like, you know, your local fish vendor who drops off fresh fish every day. Then we have community. So this is your brand's relationship with your community, both virtually and physically. A great example of a virtual community. I'm assuming Growclass is all virtual. Maybe you guys have an IRL segment, but that is a great example. Growclass is an online community, right? In real life example might be your local chamber of commerce. You can go even bigger. You can look at your whole city, right? So there's a lot of different ways we can define this group. Then we have investor, which is your brand's relationship with either current investors or board members or potential investors, right? No matter what category, from an angel to a private to a VC. And then finally, we have team and employee relations. So your brand's relationship with your current employees or your team. Okay, so those are the 7 audiences we're going to really be talking about today, because that's the who of PR. Now, when we understand the who, we can get to this really simplified definition. Okay, so what is public relations? Public relations is the art of cultivating opportunities through strategic relationship building and maintenance. There's a typo here, with these 7 key stakeholders, not 6. Okay. So we're going to make this definition come to life. So I made an image and we're going to start here and build on it, right? So here's where we're at. Okay, we talked about the who and the what. We're dealing with these people to create opportunities to what? Achieve these benefits. So this is the why. This is why people spend the time sitting in a class like this, or hire a publicist or a PR firm or a PR coach. They do this because through PR, we have the opportunity to boost brand awareness, shape public perception, grow our customer base, gain credibility and authority, increase revenue, and support an established company worth if that's an avenue you're looking to achieve for your business. Okay? So that's the why. Now we're only missing one part of this, and that is the how. Okay, so cool, Lexie. There's lots of different relationships, and I get the why, but like, how do we do it? Okay, so this is where and how PR can be executed. These are different examples of tactics or campaigns. When we're doing PR, we can think of events, sponsorships, brand collaborations and activations, community involvement, media placement, public speaking, giving back, customer reward programs, influencer campaigns, review and referral campaigns. This list is not all encompassing, but it's a really great start. Okay, so that's where that little long list fits in. So here is like a visual definition of the whole concept of what is PR. And I promise you, we're going to get into really tactical real life examples, but it's really important for you to understand this background first. So 10 out of 10 times when I'm also giving this presentation, someone asks me, wait, I'm so confused. Isn't this marketing? So I always love to address the relationship between marketing and PR. So the truth is you really shouldn't do any marketing without doing a little PR. And you should not invest in PR without integrating marketing, because the end goals, selling products, services, and making people love a company, are too intertwined. That being said, here are the definitions if it makes it feel more clear. So PR, as we've learned, this is another way of saying that definition prior, it's the action or business of creating or developing relationships, right, in order to create impact, influence, or revenue. So it's a lot less straightforward than marketing, which is really simple because marketing is the action or business of promoting and selling products or services, okay? It's a really direct purpose, where PR has all these kind of like octopus tentacles of, we could be doing PR just because we're trying to truly create impact or spread a message. It's not always tied to revenue. Marketing is. And this is a visual that I like to give people. So marketing can also be seen as the umbrella. There's a lot of different ways we can promote or sell a product, right? Social media is a way we can market. Advertising, like through social ads or Google ads, is a way we can market. We can also do PR tactics to get to the end result of marketing, right? So PR can be an organic marketing tactic. Now, if none of that landed, this is the only thing I want you to take away, okay? You can't do one without the other. So you really should, when you're thinking about PR as a business owner or a consultant, think of it as an overall marketing and business strategy. So let's make this come to life a lot more, because this has been a lot of words. So I'm doing PR when? I'm doing PR when I'm hosting an event to connect and engage with my local community in order to find new clients, which will increase my revenue. Here's where that picture comes into play. And again, this is all going to tee us up to that formula, which will become really actionable for your business. So I broke down that statement, and what you're looking at on the left, right, that circle is where on that picture this comes into play. So hosting an event to connect and engage, that's my relationship building tactic. That is my PR tactic. That's my how and my where. Now I'm connecting two different of those relations, my local community and finding new clients, the public, right? Why are we doing this? To increase my revenue. That's the desired outcome. Another example, I'm doing PR when I'm pitching the media to land a press placement that will allow me to introduce my brand to new publics, which will increase my brand awareness. Okay, back to that picture. What are we doing? Our tactic that we're selecting is pitching the media to land a press placement. We're using the media, relation one, to introduce our brand to relation two, publics, to hopefully increase our brand awareness. Okay, now we're going to recap that fun section, and then we're going to go into our formula. But again, that definition or the whole concept of the Leverage 7 PR methodology is that PR is the art of cultivating opportunities through strategic relationship building and maintenance. Our tactics and our strategies is that first part, and that strategic relationship building is referring to the 7 relations. Okay. Now, let's go into the formula. I also want to preface this, like we'll have ample times for Q&A. If at any point you guys have a question though, while I'm speaking, drop it in the chat. And Hannah, I believe you're going to be monitoring, right? In case, cool. Okay. So I also threw this in here because this formula was featured on Entrepreneur's homepage. And so hopefully that like adds a little bit of credibility to what I'm saying. The power of press, right? Add some credibility. So this thing has some merit to it. So here is basically the formula once again. Here's what that stands for. Relations plus tactics equals organic growth. Okay, now I'm going to give you a step-by-step process. So here's where I really invite you to take out a pen and a paper and do this for yourself. So step 1 of the entire formula is we need to define your relations. And in order to do this, we have to have a very clear goal. So your goal or objective could be, I want to increase online sales. It could be, I want to land a paid corporate speaking gig or sell out tickets for my event. Or I saw we have an author here, sell out my book online, right? So step 1 is write down that objective and try to be specific. Don't just be like, I want to make more money. How do you want to make more money? Is it clients? Like, what does your business model look like? Okay. When you have that goal, this is the question you're going to start with. What relations of those 7 can help me achieve my objective? So, for example, let's say you select your objective is, I want to increase online sales by 50%. All right, I now know those 7 relations that Lexie keeps screaming at me. Which of them can affect this? Well, the public can, because the public can become new customers. Maybe the industry, because they're a pathway to referrals or partnerships. Maybe the media, because it's a path to public or buyers. I could also think about customers because I can resell them or upsell them. They're also really important in driving word of mouth. Or maybe it's my community because it's a path to a really condensed group of targeted buyers. So the first relation, we're going to pick 2 that connect here. This is like step 1.1, okay? Because likely when people go through step 1, they identify anywhere from 2 to 6 of those relations that could work. So we need to narrow it down and we want to pick 2. And this is what you're going to do. The first relation should be most closely related to your objective. So if it's sales, you're probably going to pick public or customers, okay? Because the public will buy, or you're going to decide you're going to resell your current customers, okay? So number 1 is most closely connected to that goal. And number 2 is what I call low-hanging fruit. So something you have quick access to, maybe or are confident works, or it's an easy win. So that could be, if you're really well networked in your industry, maybe you can think of 5 people off the top of your head that could become referral partners. So maybe your low-hanging fruit is industry, or you're part of Growclass. So you're already part of a community. You're already plugged in. So that feels like low-hanging fruit. Okay. So those are the 2 way you're going to narrow down, and you're going to pick 2. Step 2 is to select your tactics, and this is how you do it. It's going to be what we call a connection tactic. How can I connect these 2 groups? How can I connect these 2 groups? And that's where these come into play, right? So if you picked, let's go back to that same example of online sales, and we selected the public, we're going to go after new buyers. And then our low-hanging fruit was maybe, I don't know, industry, okay? Because your friend, let's say I'm the owner of a pen shop, and I just know everyone in my industry. All right, how can I connect my industry? How can I leverage my industry to the public? Well, maybe I can think of a brand partnership or collaboration. Maybe I can collaborate with Kevin, who owns a hand sanitizing store. These are the things on my desk. And I just know if people are going to buy pens, they're going to buy hand sanitizers, right? So that's my connection tactic. That was terrible, but hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Again, there's so many options here. So I always say low hanging fruit. What feels easiest? What's a quick win? What's something you're already comfortable with and you're going to have the least resistance to, or an easy win? Okay, so pick one connection tactic to start. And this is step 3. So when you're starting to grow anything new, a new business, a new offer, there is going to be trial and error involved, period. What this formula does is it allows you to throw strategic spaghetti, right? Rather than just going, I'm going to try this. This is strategic spaghetti. So you're going to throw strategic spaghetti. You're going to know that it's that spaghetti. And then what you're going to do is you're going to track and analyze how something went and either rinse and repeat because it worked, or try something new and pick a new tactic. So if you figure out, for example, oh my God, that pen hand sanitizer partnership just, whoa, it was fire. Then maybe you decide, what else is on my desk? Pencils. You're going to partner with pencils company next in your industry, right? So I'm a big component of, if you know something works, don't overcomplicate it. Rinse and repeat. So let's look at some real life examples at this formula at work. I forgot this moved when I put this together. This is how we're going to make money and grow. Okay, so organic growth formula. Step 1, our objective here is online sales. And you've identified your 2 relations are media and public. And the connection tactic you select is pitching for digital press. Well, this is exactly what my client did. And what you're seeing here is a press placement in Women's Health magazine, where she has a bunch of products. This was a legging. And the screenshots are her doing a reel showcasing, holy crap, I just had a bunch of traffic and purchases from this article. So that's just her giving like a behind the scenes reel of where all these new purchases came from, right? So she identified this works for her. Okay, and we'll talk a little bit later what else she did to further help this do well. But this is one example. Objective online sales. Let's say you pick the relations of media and public again, but I don't know, digital hasn't been working out well, but somehow you have this opportunity. You met Bob Schmo at a networking event. He owns a radio show. So we're going to try radio, right? And yes, radio is still a thing. And it absolutely works, because I had a client who went on a radio show, and even though she'd been a Business Insider, even though she'd been on MSN, this radio show is what basically sold her out. Okay, so this worked for her. So investing in radio became a regular part of her plan, because for some reason, for what she was selling, this was reaching her people when they needed it most. Okay, objective lead gen. Okay, so maybe you don't have an e-com store, and maybe you're a service-based business. I think I saw, fractional COO, and you're looking for new clients. And you select media or public, and we're going to select pitching bylines. So quick difference between pitching a byline versus pitching a media feature. A byline is when you write the article itself. So me, Lexie Smith, writing an article for an outlet, versus me pitching someone to write about me. Okay. I actually highly, highly, highly suggest doing bylines if you're someone who is supposed to be selling some sort of expertise, because it puts you in the seat as the expert and the thought leader. That's exactly what I have another business that we didn't talk about. My co-founder and I did for that business. We co-authored a piece in an article called, or a publication called Create and Cultivate, because we knew our people were hanging out there. This to this day still brings us leads. What you're seeing on the right-hand side is someone booking a call with us, a sales call. What you see at the bottom is, this is how she found us, which is cool. I always suggest adding that in, just because it kind of makes you feel good, like, yay, I know it's working. Okay. Another example here, I'm gonna use myself again for this. So let's say we're going to change tactics a bit, and you're already plugged into communities. I was in this instance, and you're looking to connect with the public. So you go for speaking gig because that community is offering that to you. So here's like a waterfall effect. I did a speaking engagement on this very topic for another community. They then publicized it across public channels like YouTube. This actually became one of the top drivers of traffic to my site for some time. It then segued into another speaking engagement. That's the top right into, because someone attending saw me and wanted to bring it to their community. This also led to that entrepreneur article and video. It also led to leads. So waterfall effect. Completely different example. Another client of mine, her goals were she was an app. Okay, so user acquisition and investment. She needed both people to download the app, and she needed money so she could keep growing. So she chose industry and community. And the tactic she chose was partnership. So she partnered with THECA Thyroid Cancer Survivors Association and leveraged that partnership to raise capital. It was a huge credibility play for her. It also helped with user acquisition because that partnership put her in front of a very targeted demographic that was the perfect user for her app. Okay, so she connected with other people in her industry, in her community for this. Wholesale account. Let's say you don't just want it to be digital and you're looking to, like, I don't know, go into a real store because people still do that. And you want to do this through media and industry and pitch for a partnership. So what do I mean? This is Claire. What she did was she was able to leverage her success in the media and her contacts in the media to connect with key wholesalers in her industry and land Dillard's. Okay, that was a huge win for her. This is a really great example of a multi-layered formula. I'm actually, okay, let me give you context first. This is going to be a really great example for what we're talking about next, which is growth 2.0. So what we just talked about was picking one place to start. Okay. Now there's things we can do with that one tactic to make sure our business grows even more. And that's ensuring that that strategy becomes omni-channel. What you're seeing here is kind of a template to something that's about to make a lot more sense. But again, in the spirit of formulas, we're starting with the goal. We select our how tactic. That first part is all the organic growth formula. And then that's going to stem into more tactics and outcomes. So this is what that means. Let's say the goal is grow online traffic. We select media and public. We're going to go after a digital press feature. What are the things that are going to happen? Well, hopefully we're getting natural exposure to that outlet's traffic. Hopefully we're also getting a backlink to our site, but we're going to take it one step further. Okay, this is where growth 2.0 comes into play. Okay, what we're going to do is we're also going to share that digital feature on social. We're going to share it internally with our team and our investors and potential investors. We're going to push it out in our newsletter. We're going to share it in marketing materials or in our partnership deck. So if I go back to Claire, why this is a great example was she had landed all these phenomenal press placements. That had been the first layer here. Her first layer was press. She then added a layer and leveraged that press further to aid in this second tactic. Okay, so this is like how you can start to see there's this domino effect that happens. Press can be used and leveraged in so many more ways than a lot of entrepreneurs maybe initially realize. We just need to work with it a little bit more, and taking it omni-channel, cross-channel, basically what that means, multi-channel, is how we do that. So basically what I was just saying is we want to take a singular tactic or outcome and we want to push it across a lot of different channels. Something else that can happen is PR efforts often organically cross channels, whether we plan for it or not. So why not plan for it? So here's what I mean by that. Let's say you choose to host an event. people at that event might start taking photos, right? Hopefully they do. And they share it on their own accounts and they tag you, okay? So if I'm being strategic, I'm going to anticipate this, maybe advertise a certain hashtag, maybe plan a DM response campaign, maybe put a special link in my bio code for that event. This is me predicting that our PR efforts are going to organically cross-platform and making sure I control it ahead of time. So here's another example of omni-channel. So this is an example of a client we landed an interview series in THEPRBAR. What we did for it, there's some pictures here and some I'll explain, but we pushed it out in their newsletter. We shared it across company socials. We also made all the executives and sales team members reshare that as well. We highlighted this at their board meeting, which made for happy investors. They were very excited about this piece. Our president, the guy featured, he received an influx of DMs and partner outreach. So this was like, yay, client and industry relations. We get to leverage that logo, which is great for credibility. The format of this was an interview. So it enabled us to promote know, like, and trust with our existing audience. So by featuring it in the newsletter and people clicking on it, we had clients getting to know the president. It humanized, right? The company, this is a telecommunications company, it helped humanize it. It also was blasted in Morning Brew's newsletter, which goes to a lot of people. So it was really, really helpful for brand awareness. So one single tactic amplified. Another example, a client, we landed a segment in ABC. This is a nonprofit and they did a bunch of things with it, but I also wanted to take a moment to highlight it's something that lives on their website. I'm a big fan of putting these on your website because it enables this credibility to live forever and have repeat impressions. This singular thing aided in new followers for them. It aided in a sponsor for an upcoming event. And again, they shared it with their board meeting so that if investor relations is relevant for you, press is a really great thing in my experience that make them happy. All in all, omni-channel PR strategies create momentum, guys. And momentum is so huge if you're really looking to grow your business. So who in this room needs PR? In my opinion, everyone does. It's just a matter of where you focus first, right? And that's where this formula comes into play. And that's what you learned here today. So quick recap, and then we're going to turn to questions. I know I've been speaking a lot at you, and I would much rather speak with you. How do we grow a business with PR? I just taught you. We start with the organic growth formula. Then we make sure we take these efforts and outcomes and we push them all the places. Okay, that's the presentation part. So I'm going to stop sharing and bring you guys back to my main screen. And I'm curious if any you can have questions related to that platform or just anything really related to PR as well.
Yeah, we'll open the floor up. Any questions from anyone? I may just ask you if that's, I know sometimes people are like,
everyone's questions. I just was so good.
yeah. Daniela, I saw you turned your camera on. Did you have anything you wanted to ask?
No, it's just a lot to think about, but definitely like great presentation. Like, thank you so much for sharing this with us.
It is a lot to process. Yes, yeah, thank you guys for listening and hanging in there.
So great and clear. Okay.
I am curious too if anyone actually did the formula for themselves. Okay, how much should we budget for PR? Well, okay, let's think about it. That's going to depend on what type of PR, right? So if you're deciding that you're just going to start partnerships, and that's something you can DIY yourself, and you might not need any budget. If we're looking to onboard something like a PR firm or a publicist to help us with that process or a coach, I can speak to kind of some averages there, if that would be helpful. Anitra, if you want to clarify, would that be helpful? Is that what you mean? Strategic spaghetti. Yes. Okay. So this is, I speak this into the world a lot. Like any service-based business, there's going to be a wide range, right? You can find prices across the board, but generally speaking, for a boutique PR agency and a good market, like a solid market, like in LA or New York or Chicago, somewhere where there's a heavy media presence, you're going to look at, for a small firm, for a small business, anywhere from 3 to 8K a month. Okay. It's going to really depend. Anything less than that, I always say proceed cautiously, because it either indicates they're super, super new. It could be pulled at their heartstrings, but that's not usually the case. Over that, you're just getting into a larger or a more experienced firm. Now, retainers are also something to anticipate. A good PR firm should minimally want you to have a 3-month retainer, but on average, we look at 6 months. Because to truly gain that momentum we're talking about, you can't do that in 1 month. My PSA for founders, if you are ever messaged by a PR firm that is guaranteeing you placement, which is becoming a thing more and more, that is not a PR firm. That is a different business model. That is what we call like a syndicate paid placement. And basically what that means is it's a lot of smoke and mirrors happening right now, and you can pay companies like that to land you a syndication. A syndication means they're going to upload something onto a wire service, and it's going to get copy and pasted on a back indexed page of a website. So Yahoo Finance is a really popular one that you might see. There was a trend a while back where there was a lot of people paying to be on lists that were on Yahoo. And what was happening behind the scenes was you paid that media payment syndication company. They put a press release up. Yahoo copy and pasted it on a back indexed page. So people aren't going to organically see that piece of press. But if you want to just leverage the logo and you want to leverage it on social, then it's not a terrible option. I just like to educate people on what it will do and what it won't do for you. So all that to say, that was a lot of information, but usually 3 to 8K, 3 to 6 months for a boutique firm.
And open the floor up again. Any other questions, thoughts, comments?
Also, that's USD, actually. I'm sorry, there's a lot of Canadians in this room.
Yeah.
I do not know how that the currency
Conversion
transfer.
rate. Yeah, I think it's like 1.25.
So I do apologize. I would imagine Canadian firms are similar, so we're not all too far away, but that was definitely me speaking to the US. I forgot that there's lots of Canadians in here.
All right. One last chance. Any final questions? We do this thing called awkward therapy silence. Oh, we got one in the chats. When should early stage companies start to think about including PR? So
Back to the end of my presentation, right? Every single person needs PR. Every single person at any stage. It just depends what type of PR. Okay, so that's my little soapbox. Now, are you thinking more specifically about press when you're asking that question? Like, when should they start thinking about including press? Okay, depends on their goals. So what press can and can't do. So if you're an early stage company who's looking to raise capital, then press placements are really, really helpful for social proof and investment decks. They also can be really, really helpful in just brand awareness, again, social proof, driving users to your site. So it's something, in my opinion, that is worth doing prior to advertising. I would suggest someone invests in PR. Once you know what works organically, then it becomes a great time to integrate paid strategy. An interesting stat floated across my desk the other day. Presshook is a PR software, and they were doing some campaign testing, and they started putting ad money behind press placement. So they turned their ads, like whatever press placement they got, let's say it was Forbes, they advertised that and they saw 4x return. Kind of re-solidifying like that, at least appearance of third party credibility in something like press carries a lot of weight today. It still does. So that's good. I'm still in a job. So I would start now. It just depends. And that's not me saying you need to invest in a 10-figure, a 10K firm right now. There's a lot of things you can do by yourself. Any other questions? I'll also offer, if anything comes up, 20 minutes from now, you guys have my information. Feel free to reach out. Happy to answer too if you're still processing the lots of talking that I just did.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Lexie, for sharing your expertise with us today. This was a great, great talk. Learned a lot as well. And thank you, everyone, for your great questions. Everyone who participated, showed up for yourself to learn something new. So I'll share Lexie's links again in the chat for everyone. If you want to connect with Lexie, you can find her links there. And this session is recorded, so I'll be sharing the recording afterwards. As soon as it's ready, you can see me in your inbox pretty soon. But thank you all for joining today. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.